Hi, Chef Jim here. Welcome back. So right now we are going to make a simple tomato sauce. This is really a very basic tomato sauce. Um, I'm going to start with olive oil. This is a good olive oil, an extra virgin olive oil. So yes, I like a lot of olive oil. That's a lot of olive oil, but that's okay. So I'm going to give it just a pinch of salt, just a little bit. We're going to taste it later anyway, just to make sure. A couple turns of pepper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my onions. Now, you don't hear that sauteing, do you? That's because I don't really want it to saute. I want it to sweat a little bit. So I have my wooden spoon. Stir them really well. And I want these to sweat. And again, that's a lot of olive oil, but that's okay. The olive oil is a good monounsaturated fat. Good olive oils have a lot of good flavor, and that's, again, another reason why I didn't take the heat up too high. If I take the heat up too high, that good extra virgin olive oil that I'm using, it loses a lot of what's called its esters. And its esters are, those very subtle flavors that kind of give it its distinct smell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sweat just a little bit right here, and it's probably going to take, I don't know, 10-12 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to add my peppers. Alright, so our onions have cooked down a little bit. You can see they've lost their bright white color. They're a little translucent. So I'm going to add my peppers. So now, the addition of peppers, actually the addition of peppers and celery is what makes the sauce, a tomato sauce, a Creole sauce. And that's one of the classic tomato sauce variations, is that Creole sauce. You see that a lot along the Gulf Coast, where their mirepoix is not really carrot, celery, and onions, but it's onion, celery, and green peppers, and garlic and something spicy usually. So I want to saute these for just a second, quit fiddling with them for a moment, and I'm going to let those cook for a minute. We'll come back to them. All right, so it's only been about a minute, maybe 90 seconds later, but what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the color to change on the peppers. Where the onions went from a bright white to a translucent color, the peppers went from a darker green and are now a brighter green, and that's what I'm looking for. So these are all the tomatoes that I had concasseed earlier. That's 4 tomatoes, believe it or not. And they do tend to cook down. So now at this point, I only have really one more thing left to put in, and that's my garlic paste. So I'm going to let this simmer just a little bit, maybe about 20 minutes. I'm not going to put any more salt and pepper in it. I'm going to let it cook, and then I'm going to taste it after I put my garlic paste in it. So I'm going to find the lid wherever I set it down, and put the lid on this, and I'm going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. All right, so it's been about 15-20 minutes, and so let's take a look at this. And you see it's released a lot of that liquid. It's cooked way down from what it was. And this is what we're looking for. Oh my gosh, it smells so amazing. So now that it's got all that liquid in there, I'm just going to continue to simmer it. I'm going to turn it down even lower. And I'm going to go ahead and put my garlic in now, because there's absolutely no chance that that garlic is going to burn or pick up any bitter tones. Oh, I can already smell the garlic. I wish we had smell-o-vision. So stir the garlic in, and again, I'm just going to let this simmer for maybe another 20 minutes or so. Kind of what you're looking for in tomato sauce is tomato sauce will foam, and you're looking for that foam to pretty much go away. If I let this come back up to a boil, you'll see foam kind of form around the edges of the pan. But that'll go away, and that's kind of an indication that we've cooked down some of those sugars. So And that's a good indication that all those starches in there have broken down into some simple sugars. And that's why some recipes will call for sugar. I don't ever put in any sugar or anything else until the tomatoes have had a chance to release all of their sugar, the onions have had a chance to release all of their sugar, and I'm getting close to the end of cooking. I don't want to put it in at the beginning because it might end up being too sweet. So we'll taste at the end, but now my sauce is pretty much done. I'll reduce another ounce or so of the liquid out of there, and then I'm going to finish it with salt, pepper, a little splash of balsamic vinegar is one of my little secret touches, and then a chiffonade of fresh basil. And then we'll put that together with the fried eggplant. So that's your basic tomato sauce.